go again. Back. Good. Or out. Snow plowing yet again. Storm's just really starting to get started here in Halifax. Nothing too serious yet. Outer areas up here are pretty bad at the moment. But as far as where I'm at, it's really slippery. Lots of freezing rain coming down right now, which I'm sure you can hear hitting the windshield. That's starting to add up in places, so I'm giving things a little quick scrape, making sure things stay open. It's going to be a long night, unfortunately. Anyway, talk to you later. So, the first amount's been scraped up on my one main place. It's been a couple hours. We've only been seeing freezing rain now for a while. So I'm just headed down to my substations, get them broke open before the big heavy snow comes. They're still calling for a fair amount early in the morning. Going to be heaviest then, so it sounds like it's going to be a long night still. Roads are pretty slick. I don't think a lot of people are using any salt yet, where it's still calling for some heavy stuff later on. It's been interesting, to say the least. Been interesting. At least the roads are quiet. Not too many people out tonight. Nova Scotia Power pulled all their crews off due to the high winds and the slippery conditions, which is not much of good news for anybody who has lost power, because it doesn't sound like there'll be any restoration crews out for a while. But I guess that's why in Nova Scotia it's a good idea to buy a generator. It's the only way you'll be able to keep your stuff cold and keep your bodies warm. Roads are pretty slick. I'm not going very fast, to be honest with you. Even with four-wheel drive, all I'm doing is sliding around, keeping it pretty low speeds. My check engine light's on. I've got issues with this truck now with the regen. Seems to be typical for me. Every time I get a truck, after about 2 or 3 years, the regen systems seem to go with these diesels. They're a big pain in the butt. I understand, I guess, why they're there, but they really need to come up with a better system. There's too many sensors and things to go wrong with them. And then they cripple your trucks when they don't run long enough. It's brutal. It's brutal. Anyway, I'll check in. Maybe we'll do a little bit together on that substation road. We'll see how bad it is. See how slippery it is. I want to get it cleaned out, like I said, at least once, so I'm not having to push all this stuff together in the morning when it's heavy and slippery, where it's only one lane. Really don't want to be going off the road down there. Cell service is spotty at best down there, so we'll check back in a little bit. Stay safe, everyone. So, I'm pretty glad I came down here when I did. There's not a lot of snow, but boy, can I tell you, this is heavy. Like, I am struggling right now to push this when it starts piling up. That snow is super heavy. Doesn't matter, four-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive, it is just heavy. So hopefully, by coming down here and opening this up, it'll save me some headache later. We'll see what happens. This part of the road's not quite so bad. This is, it's rough, but it's rough. But at least it's fairly wide here, the first part of the road anyway. Oh. Yeah, it is slippery. That freezing rain has not done us any favors. It is really slick underneath. It's hard to keep the cameras clear too in this weather. Oh yeah, even just trying to turn around. I am just spinning and spinning and spinning. And it's not even that deep yet. Does not bode well for later, I can tell you that much. They're saying it's gonna be minus 16, I think, by morning, and then feel like minus 26 by tomorrow night. So it's going to be really important to get everything done as quickly as possible before it all freezes up. Because once it's frozen, you're going to have a hard time moving it. Right now, this is just freezing rain like crazy down here. It's just bouncing off the windshield and the plow and the headlights. You can see it on the side there. I'm not even barely picking much of it up in some spots. The wind is so high, it's keeping it blown off in a lot of areas. I can feel it when I get on that too, because it starts to slide instantly. Wants to push the truck right around. The only good thing about doing it at night like this is when there's not a lot of traffic, is you don't necessarily have to worry about too much coming and getting in your way when you're trying to swing around out in the road. So that's good at least. Man, listen at that rain. I'm not looking forward to opening the gate right now, I can tell you that. That's gonna suck. I should have brought a rain jacket, I guess. That's my fault. I don't like wearing my boots in my truck either when I plow. I normally just wear sneakers. I have a feeling that's going to kick me in the butt here later too. I see wet feet in my future. I'll have to have the heat on pretty high on the floor here. So one thing I miss about my Dodge, I had a 3500 2016 Laramie that I used to plow with before I got this one. This is a 2019 Ford F-150. And that Laramie, that had climate control and everything in it. This one does not. But it had climate control in it, and the good thing about that one is it also had air conditioning on the leather seats. So when you were plowing, like tonight, when you needed a lot of heat to keep your windows clear and your mirrors clear, you could crank the heat on, and then you could turn the AC on the seats, and it would let you not roast to death. In this one, I don't have that option. So in order to keep the windows clear, I normally roast to death in here. Oh, that is slippery, slippery, slippery. I can't even push this windrow back. I'm gonna have to try to get a bit of a run on. There we go. This one I like to blade everything over to the left. Just because I don't like piling it against the fence. The road is very tight to this fence. So if I pile it on that side, then I lose my ability to drive down here pretty quickly when you start getting windrows on that right side. Which I guess it's good that I do it this way, but it also kind of sets myself up for a little bit of trouble, because then I'm not just moving snow once and blading it off either side. I got to carry it across the entire width of the road and keep pushing that windrow across. And in storms like this, it gets pretty heavy pretty quickly. I can already hear my voice starting to go. Worked all day today. We had a bunch of water breaks, so it was a busy day. Got home late afternoon, ate some supper, got to lay down for a few minutes before the call came out for this, and then we're back out again. And by the sounds of it, we won't be done this until, I would say, sometime later tomorrow afternoon. They're saying the snow's not going to stop until about 11. And then it will be hit our major spots first. Oh yeah, I'm having trouble here. This is not good. Alright, I need more speed. It'll be hit our major spots first, make sure they're all nice and cleaned up. And then it will be go around to all these smaller ones. Get them done, get them cleaned up, get all the service stations, service roads done before the freeze up tomorrow night. Not fun at all. What I wouldn't do for a nice, light, fluffy snowfall with no rain in between or before or after. And you can just come in, swipe it all to the side, have it peel off the blade nice. Oh my. Have it peel off the blade nice and not have to have troubles like this pushing it. But I live in Nova Scotia, so that's not going to happen. Just talking to some of the other crews, some of the other guys, they've got farther to travel than I do. I live in Halifax, so pretty close to my sites, which makes it nice for me coming in at least. But some of the other guys are traveling from the valley and Bridgewater, stuff like that, to try to get in, and they've been, I mean, some of them are just arriving now, and I've been out for hours. The highways are bad. The highways are very bad. Ordinarily, when I come down here, I normally take the highway, but I opted to just take the back roads, go a little slower, take my time, hopefully make it there in one piece rather than having to call someone and get me out of a ditch or something silly like that. Now, having the problem I just had there, I'm tempted to push some of this to the right this time. But if I do that, closing off my road. Alright, we'll go to the left. See what happens. I just don't want to get it up too close to that gate where it's so heavy. It'll be hard even to back drag it back out of there. Swipe over. I'll tell you, I do miss having a salter on my truck. As much as it's nice to have the camera. Oh, just 1 second here. That was one of the other guys calling. He just arrived. He was coming in from the valley. And, needed to get let in. I guess his passes aren't working. I'll have to remember to call them about that tomorrow. See what's going on there. All these electronic passes and stuff are great when they work, but when they don't, they can cause some pretty big headaches. And unfortunately, I am probably half an hour away right now where I'm at. So I just called the other guy there, and he's gonna let him in. Get in and go back and start scraping up some of the mess with the loader. Hopefully he can start pushing some of those piles back I was making earlier too, because like I said, it's getting to the point where I can't move it in the truck anymore. It's heavy. Once you start making piles, it gets heavy fast, and then once it's heavy, you can forget moving it with a pickup truck. Especially one without a salter. Like I was saying there before I went, I miss having a salter for the weight. The weight is a big help traction wise. It'll basically turn any pickup truck into a tank, basically. When I used to have my other trucks, I used to have salters on them, and there was very little that would stop the truck from pushing snow. I can remember some of the bigger storms I did a few years ago. Actually, probably more like 4 or 5 years ago now. I can remember pushing snow and actually having it come up over the blade and over the hood of the truck. Like it was that deep from snow drifts and stuff, and it just did not stop the truck one bit. Didn't even skip a beat, just right straight through it. Which in a big storm is nice to know, because I'll tell you right now, if I was in one of those storms, I would be calling for the loader to come pull me out, because this thing is not that good. It's too light. It's just the weight thing. If it wasn't for the weight, it would be fine. I thought about putting some plates in the back, but these stupid aluminum bodies, you got to be worried about things shifting around too. It doesn't take much. I've seen picks go through these things. I've seen all kinds of stuff happen. I get why they're doing it, but for a work truck, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'd prefer to have a steel body over aluminum, that's for sure. For a number of reasons. The weight, punctures, scratches, all that. It's considerably less. Obviously the rust is the big factor, I guess, why they don't want to. Which I suppose is a real thing, but I don't know. I'd rather have a slightly rusty pickup truck and have some weight than a shiny, pretty one that you can't move anywhere with. But that's just me. That should be cleaned up enough. Now I just gotta go open the gate. Get all nice and wet. I will be right back. Oh, well, that was fun. Walk was frozen. So I'll bring it in here with me. Hopefully warm it up a little bit so it's not so bad later, but I have a feeling it's going to be just as bad later. That freezing rain is just pelting right now. Man, it's hard on you. Bouncing off you. Alright. Now let the fun begin. Oh, that was better than I was expecting. I was holding my breath, I won't lie on that one. It's never a good idea really to try to push snow uphill in a slippery situation when it's heavy, but I really didn't want to have to try to push that all the way back to the gate. And I didn't really want to have to try to drive over it either, because driving over it is just as bad right now. At least this way I got it broke down to some dirt at least. Oh yeah, I'm not even backing up this hill. Oh, I have to hit this a little faster. See, this is where the weight comes in, because I got no weight on my rear end right now. I am just spinning. I'm not going to get it, so we'll give up. I'll get as far as I can, and I will push this all off. And I'll have to hit that going back up the hill again. Which again is not ideal. But what choice do I have? Oh, this road is so rough. It is so rough. I've been plowing this one now for quite a few years. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx myself, but I've had pretty good success rate down here not ending up in the ditch or needing to call a tow truck, which now I'm probably just screwed myself there, but it's a challenging spot, I can tell you that. These turns are brutal. Before we filled this in too, because they did allow us to make it a little bit wider in spots because it was pretty bad. Like on this 90-degree turn, it used to be with this truck especially. So anything like extended cab or bigger, the wheelbase was so long that it wouldn't even make the 90-degree turn without the rear wheel hanging over the ditch. So they allowed us to make the road a little wider. So now at least we can make the turn without hovering over a ditch, which is nice. But the rest of the road is just absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. And of course, no frost on the ground because of all the fluctuating temperatures. Makes it that much funner because I'm picking up boulders and everything else that's loose in the ground. I have a feeling I'm not going to bother cleaning this up too much this time. I'll just try to get it somewhat opened up so that I'm not shooting myself later for not doing it. And then come back here after the snow has stopped and in the daylight too, because this place sucks at night. There's no street lights out here at all. Try to clean it up then. All at once. And there's the tree. Pretty sure the gravel stops halfway. I just keep pushing it past into the woods because otherwise I don't have anywhere to turn around after the winter's halfway over. Yeah, there's the branches sticking up. That was close. I am cooking in here right now. It is hot. Turn that heat back for a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to say that's good enough for now. And I'll do my pass on the way out. I'll clean the rest of this up later. Oh, snowbank. See how rough that is? That's brutal. Oh, I'm pretty sure when they built this road, they just pulled as many boulders as they could from every other site and filled it in. Because I feel like I'm hitting every last one of them. It's rocky down here on a good day anyway, but This area is bad for rocks. Oh, not getting up that time. Back up and hit that with some more speed, because that was not going to end well. Almost, come on. Oh, almost to the top of the hill that time. One more time, I should be able to get that over the crest. There we go. I really should ask them if I could take down a couple of, well, no, and then that would defeat the purpose. I was going to say take down a couple of trees, make it a little wider right here. But then I guess if I make it too wide, then that defeats the purpose of the gate. Just so I could be able to wing this back a little easier right here where the gate is, because it's just super hard when it's wet like this. It's not so bad when it's fluffy, because it just flies off the blade anyway, but when it's wet, it does not want to move at all. All right, and that's that one done. I will check back in a little bit.